Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
just
I
getting
forget.
set up here. I did 2 ships this morning and I tried to finish one off before I started. I got my speaker going. Okay, got it off now. How you doing, Justin?
I'm all right.
Hey, Brenda. Good morning. Good morning, Brenda.
What's up, Brenda? Jody, what's up?
Had to try and get Mia to eat her breakfast. Who knows if she's going to do it or not? She's pretty stubborn.
You
Yeah,
any bites on the bike yet?
she's being stubborn. What?
You any bites on the bike yet?
Nope, nope, no bites.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let that sit on there and marinate. Somebody might want it eventually.
Well, the here's the problem is I don't want it sitting all winter, you know?
Right, but you want to leave it on there as long as possible because hopefully somebody will get it. Definitely don't take it down because it can be up there, I think, for like a week or two before you have to renew the listing.
Oh man.
But unfortunately, something like that, you really can't offer shipping, like unless you were a company, because that would just be way too much money. You literally have to tear that bike apart in pieces and then box it. Oh, that'd be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that would not be good. Not at all.
uh, you're gonna have to sell it locally, so that's the best way to get rid of it.
Frank's here. Brenda's here.
How's your tenant doing?
Not good. In and out of the hospital. Um, I, when you're only like 30, 37 years old and you got the end of life situation staring you in the face, you 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 all kinds of things go through your head, you know.
That's pretty bad though that medically you put yourself there at that age,
Yep.
because the drinking and stuff. That's just nuts to me.
Well, it is because it talks about, in my mind, it just goes to show that people aren't that bright, because they think, oh, that'll never happen to me, you know?
Oh
I
yeah.
I I can do this and it's not going to affect me, but it does. Over a period of time, it does. Because
Yeah.
first of all, we don't have any maps of our genealogy and what we're more susceptible to. Some people can drink their whole life and die at 90. Most people cannot.
Yeah, just everybody's different. Yeah,
Yep,
just like there's people out there that say, "Oh, my grandpa smoked until he was 95 and died, never had a single issue."
yep,
That's not everybody, and just because your grandpa did it, don't mean you could do it.
that's right. DJ. Yeah,
What's up, TJ?
it's just it's a sad situation and what do you say?
I mean, and that's the thing too, is when you, if it's something that just naturally happened to you, a lot of places are willing to help you, but when you've caused it,
Yep,
a lot of places, they won't want to put you on donor lists and shit because they think you're a waste of time.
yep, exactly. They don't want to waste the effort. And that's a cynical view, but it is a factual view in the fact that, if he cannot recover from this, why would you put the effort in?
Plus, isn't there? There's also an age limit on donors too, isn't there? I think once you get to a certain age, they won't bother trying to change
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 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 because they won't transplant older organs into younger people or whatever, because
Well, no, I'm saying I think there's an age limit on receiving organs too.
yeah,
Like,
but it's not that high. You can receive an organ, and if you find somebody that's willing to donate specifically to you, they'll test and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, when you cause it though, man, places aren't gonna want to help you, which makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a crap to look at that way, but it's like, would you rather that organ go to a 10-year-old kid that needs it or a 30-year-old alcoholic that
yes,
caused it?
it's kind of a similar situation. You see all these ads on TV for children's benefits. Got cancer and everything else, and they die at 5 and 6 years old. It's like I don't. There's nothing. It's good to take care of them, but they talk about we're looking for a cure. Well, they've been looking for a cure to diseases for a long time.
I mean, it's slowly getting there. I mean, they've had some successes in different areas. It's just, I think the introduction of once like AI starts getting more refined and stuff, and it starts getting into the medical field, and it can start figuring out when it can take all the information that we know of and then put it together and be able to figure out what we haven't thought of. That's where it's going to come in, I think, handy because they'll be able to, computer programs and stuff will be able to think of stuff we didn't haven't thought of, different compounds, different mixtures of compounds and stuff like that, what the best treatment course would be. Because there might be something natural out there that we just haven't found yet that you could just take one time and it, boom, your lung cancer is gone.
Yeah.
We just haven't found it yet.
You just don't know. You just keep pushing forward as long as you can. And it's at my age, I figure it this way: if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. You know, because nobody's going to live forever. At least not in our foreseeable future. That hurricane really messed up the East Coast, didn't it?
Yeah, I was watching, I was peeking in on Johnny's show and he was live earlier, and Ronnie, God bless America, he said his power is going to be out for like another 2 weeks for his estimated power getting turned back on. Pretty crazy. What's up, Jason?
Justin, good morning. Paul, how are you guys?
Hey,
All right.
Jason. Welcome,
Good
welcome, my
morning.
friend.
Thank you, Paul. Very much appreciated.
Heading
What
to
is new
work.
today?
Heading to
Yes.
work, right?
Not
Yep.
much.
How far a
Right on.
drive is it for you every day to go to work?
It's only 9 miles.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
it's
an
not
easy
that
commute.
because
Yeah.
down here, like I live north of Detroit. There's a lot of workers that might work at a car plant or whatever, and they might have to drive 30, 35, 40, 45 miles.
Yeah,
One
that's a
one
distance for
way to
sure.
go back and forth to work, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I used to, when I lived in San Diego, when I was stationed out in Coronado years ago,
Well, Brian.
I had a place out in Rancho. You live in San Diego, right, Justin?
Yeah, I was about 4 hours north of San Diego, but yeah, I've been to San Diego bunches because I had family members that live there. So I'd been there
Yeah.
a bunch of times.
So I used to live, my cousins lived 45 minutes away from the base, and maybe 25 minutes, depending on how fast you could actually go.
Yeah,
You know,
traffic and everything else. Yep.
because the traffic, exactly. But yeah, it was a good distance, and I just didn't like that kind of commute. We used to live here from I-Fi. It was a 40-minute commute every day, and then we decided to move to a more central location in Virginia Beach, which made the commute so much better.
Yeah.
We have,
Well,
we have a C.
are you ready? Are you ready for TJ? Because here he comes.
Outstanding.
We have a Sebring officer that lives down the street from me, and she has to drive an hour and 5 minutes to get to work every day. And you got to put that on top of her 12-hour shift. I don't know
Yep.
how she does it, man. I don't know her. I just know how far Sebring is, and I see her police car outside the house all the time. And that's
Yeah.
an hour and 5 minute drive each way. So that's a 14-hour day right there.
Yeah,
That's a
no kidding.
long day.
Maybe she pulls down like 3 days or straight and then 4 days off.
Oh yeah. That's the one upside to being a cop is you work a lot of hours when you work, but you get a lot of time off in between that work. Like you usually get a 3-4 day break in between, which is nice. Like the sheriff's department here, that's one of their advertisements. If you want to become a deputy, they only work 2.5 weeks out of the month, technically, but they work enough hours in that 2.5 weeks that it's a month's worth of pay. You know,
Right.
because they're working 12-hour shifts at a time. So from
Of
6 in the
course.
morning to
High
6 at
risk
night.
job, right?
Right.
Yep.
What's up, Justin and Jason?
That's it.
Hey, TJ. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Great. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks for stopping in my gameplay last night. It was good to
Oh
see
yeah,
you.
no problem. Yeah, no problem. Looks like you guys were having some fun there.
Yeah, I was talking to you, but then I guess you rolled out.
Yeah, like I stopped
Gotta
in
work.
for like a few minutes. I was still at work and one of my coworkers was talking to me, so I was like,
Now I hear
TJ's
that.
bad for that. He'll come in the chat and you'll ask him a question, and he'll keep typing other stuff, but he never answers your question.
well, no, because like what happens is like like it'll be like completely dead in the store and nobody will be in there and there'll be nothing to do. So like I'll try to answer a question that somebody will ask me and then somebody comes in I'm like fuck I can't answer the question.
Right.
Shit.
No, I hear you. Yeah, sometimes I've got like Laura will play and Justin play during the middle of the day, so I'll play it, and I like listening to the sounds of Fortnite in the background. You know,
Yeah.
before I picked up Fortnite as the hobby, it was drones, obviously, right? So I would just listen to drone sounds, just in the background. People will walk in my office like, "What are you listening to?" Before that, it was chainsaw, tree climbing. right? So
Right.
you listening to the dudes cutting trees down and whatnot in the background. Like, what are you doing? Like, just listening to the chainsaws, you know?
He's listening to
Yeah.
chainsaw meditation videos.
The funny thing is now people think I'm actually playing the game at work, and I'm like, no, I'm just listening to the game, you know.
Man,
But
Matt was pretty hilarious yesterday on when y'all were gaming with Laura. He was hilarious.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
he gets really excited.
Well, we push Matt's buttons on purpose just to get him riled up.
Yeah.
In my last outtakes video, Jason was actually getting on Matt about his shooting his guns.
I told him, Matt, calm the fuck down, mate. It'll be okay. It's just a game.
That was funny. Good times indeed.
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
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 DJ, you can rest assured you are one of a kind, buddy.
Oh, I appreciate that, Paul. I appreciate that.
That's what Justin keeps telling me. You are one of a kind, TJ.
Yeah.
He's a special little guy, he is.
Special.
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
Yeah, wait a minute. I had that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, but is it really funny or only funny to you? You know?
Yeah.
Joe, you got baby duty today? No.
Nothing yet.
Not yet.
I heard you say
I'm on my way.
I heard you say something yesterday on Paul's show. I went back and watched the morning stream. You said something about she's gonna be getting daycare now.
I think so.
It's not hard to get daycare paid for if like you're not making a ton of money.
Well, she's making a ton of money.
I was gonna say there's programs out there that will help pay for daycare.
Yeah, she's making a ton of money though.
Well,
she's making enough to pay $100 a week.
Not only her kid, but the boyfriend too, right?
Yeah. But she makes enough to pay $100 a week.
Me and Sarah were making too much money back when the two oldest were in daycare, but we still found a program that paid half of it for us. Because that's the thing, like daycare is not cheap. I mean, say you make $3,000 a month, just one person, right? Makes $3,000 a month. You could spend $1,800 to $2,200 of that just in daycare, which almost makes it worth not working at that point. Because you're spending almost half your money, a little over half your money in daycare costs. It's crazy expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, but she's talking about Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I could deal with having it 2 days a week. I don't mind that. But I can't do 20 days a month or 20, every 5 days. Because it really hampers me. Because I might have a car problem now that I got to go work on my car. When I'm going to be able to do it?
Joe, is your car still having the same problem?
Well, yesterday it started okay. Today it may do the same thing, But when I turn it, it's getting enough juice that it's trying to turn the starter. What I'm thinking's happened because I think there's a like that water when it got into the starter got like a little rust spot somewhere. And if it hits on that spot, it's got enough that it's making it turn, but it's holding up, hanging up a little bit. But I'm thinking
Well,
the more I start it, it should go away.
Well, and that's the problem, right? Is a starter is not an item that just sits and turns and turns and turns.
Yeah,
Like if it was like, you got, if it was a component that would turn consistently when you're
then it'd
driving
be
down the
fine.
road, it would probably work that water out and dry it out a little bit, and it'd probably be
Yeah.
okay. But that's something that's only turning, maybe 3, 4 times a day, depending on how much you're driving. And it's only
Yeah.
for a split second, to start the car.
But as long as it's got enough juice that it's got enough play in it that it makes it turn, because if I turn it, it goes click, and I keep it turned, it'll kick on. So
And it could be something else too. It might not even be a starter. It could be something else because some electrical shit could have got wet somewhere under there that you don't know about, a little harness or something. I mean, it's hard to
well,
say.
right where the starter's at was underwater, I guarantee you. So I'm thinking it's water got in the solenoid, and like I said, solenoid. To turn that starter, all I need is a little flake of rust to hold it up.
Maybe you need to put in an insurance claim.
No, it's not worth it. Not worth it because it's only a $70 part.
Fuck, insurance will total the car over. So talking about.
Yeah, it's a $70 part.
They don't want to fix anything on cars
Yeah,
anymore.
if you've
Oh,
got
yeah.
it diagnosed right.
They just
But
say,
I'll tell
"We
you
wanna-"
what, Joe, you'll be one pissed off little puppy if you take and you put a new starter on it, go through all that, and it still does it.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is if he calls the insurance and says, "This is why I think the starter's broken," and he says that there was any little bit of flooding on that car, they may just tell him, "Nope, we're going to total the car out," and then he's got to go get
Yeah.
another car. Because they don't. If you get any bit of water damage, most insurance companies don't want to deal with that because you could fuck up the entire electrical system in the car. They don't want to have
Yeah.
to pay to get that fixed. You're talking about thousands, 3 times as much than what they're going to pay you out for the vehicle.
Yep. And for what they pay me, I wouldn't make out.
What's that car worth, Kelly? Have you looked up the Kelly Blue Book value on it?
Yeah, it's about 4,900. And I'd get full price. It depends on what they sell. What they don't look at Kelly Blue Book. They look at what they go for around here. And the cheapest I found one is 49. The most expensive I found one was 79. So if they look at it and they go through it with the mileage on it, they might say 59. Now for 5,900, I could get a good car. But then I got another car. I got to figure out what's wrong with it.
Oh, you need to
Whereas
just
this
go
one,
get you a bit.
I know what's wrong with it.
Nah, Joe, you just need to go get yourself a big old lifted F-150,
I'm telling you what I'm buying. If this money comes through, and we're at the point where it should be going to court. If this money comes through for the Marine Corps,
please don't tell me you're going to get one of those damn friggin' cyber trucks.
oh hell no!
He's gonna get himself a boat car.
I need it. That's what I need. I want the Santa Cruz. I like the Santa Cruz, but I also like that new Hummer they got coming up.
Telling you need something lifted to really fire up that little man complex.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
Johnny's got one of those Santa Cruzes too, right?
Yeah, I like the Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get mine before Johnny bought his. I didn't even know Johnny liked it.
Jason, what are you driving?
I drive an F-150.
F-150, huh?
It's a little bit lifted. Yeah.
As
I'm a short man.
As long as it's not squatted, we're fine.
Yeah. No. I got a good deal on military overseas sales back in 2012 when I was deployed to Kenya. And so I sold my Jeep Wrangler right before deployment with the intent of buying a brand new vehicle when I came back home from deployment. Saved up my money, which, you know, doesn't really happen because when you deploy and you hit the different ports and stuff like that, guess what happens? You spend it all. But I got my crew, my guys were like, "Sir, you ought to get a Ford Raptor." And I'm like, "What is that?" And I looked it up. I was like, "That's actually pretty cool," because I was looking for an off-road type of a vehicle, you know. And so, yeah, basically you got a custom, you know, out of the factory, because for overseas military sales, you're not buying what's in stock. You're buying it from the factory. So you put all the whatever you want on it.
All
Yeah,
the
you
bells
make
and
it.
whistles that you want. Yep.
Yeah, and for a really good price and deal. So I did, and yeah, I came back and picked up my vehicle X number of months later on, after deployment, like 2 months after deployment, and I drove that thing almost to 100,000. It had transmission issues in 2018, and so I took it in for a service because it went from like sixth gear down to second gear, back up to sixth and second on the freeway at 55 miles per hour. So it was jacking me around.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the first
Yeah.
time it's happened.
Oh
That happened
man, that's
at like
crazy.
25 miles per hour. Oh, it was scary too. I was on the phone with my wife and I said, "Hey, I'm pulling over to Beach Ford. I'm gonna go have them take a look at it." And I knew they wouldn't look at it that afternoon. It's 5 p.m. So it was drop in, and they'd look at it first thing in the morning because it only happened in the cold, right? The transmission would jump out like that. So I have her go pick up our son, and I'm waiting for her to come pick me up from the dealership and the service center. So I'm looking around in the showroom. I'm like, "Ooh, this is nice." And so it was another F-150 Raptor, but it also had the Roush Racing package on it. And so she's like, "I don't know about the color." I was like, "I don't think you understand. You need to come in and look at this thing real quick." Because the transmission dropped out the second time, right? Or X number of times that it did. I dropped it off. We were on the phone. And she goes, "Maybe you're due for a new vehicle." So I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a go ahead buy a new vehicle."
So,
So I
You know?
traded it in.
So, well, so we're looking at the car. You know, my son's like, "Wow, this is nice, Dad." I mean, it has an American flag on it. It's got red bead locks. You know, it's blue. You know, I mean, it's as American as you can get, right?
how old your kid?
So he's a sophomore in college now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's older now. But this was years ago, back in 2018, or not, yeah, 18, February of 2018 when I got this, or was it 19? Something like that. The vehicle's in 18. So this is February of 19 that yeah, I drove home with it the next day because I didn't want to buy it on the spot. I would have, but I slept on it and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get it."
What did you ever get a report from Ford? What was the matter with it? Or
Oh no, I didn't care. I just told him, I was like, "Look, can you make me an offer on the Raptor that's in the shop?" And they're like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." So I walk in, I talk to Diana, she's my service person, and I've worked with her I always stop in to say hello, you know. She sold me my first Raptor, or you know, I picked it up from her, and I was like, "Hey, I want to buy that Raptor, that blue one." She's like, "Don't you want to test drive?" I was like, "No, just give me the paperwork." And she's like, "Well, it's gonna take some time." And I said, "Well, make me an offer on the Raptor that's in the silver Raptor that's in the shop." And she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Well, go drive it around anyway, because it's gonna be some time before we get it all prepped for you to take it home." So I was like, "Sure." So I drove it around, and you know, they filled it up with gas and did all the great stuff to it, and like, you know, the coatings and all this other stuff, right? The extras, because it makes sense. You know, they salt the roadways here, so getting that undercoating, I guess,
Yeah, that's
coating.
because you live in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Virginia, exactly.
I would have
How'd you know
never
that,
known
Joe?
that.
you can't put nothing
Exactly.
past Joe.
But yeah,
I
so
don't remember.
I drive a Ford F-150 Raptor. It's got the Roush
Lance?
racing package. I'm like, who's Jack Roush? Because he signed the back of it, I guess, or the decal. So I found out that he was a race car driver, kind of like what's his name? Shelby.
Yeah.
For Ford. Yeah.
Hey,
Which,
TJ, I found you a car, by the way.
oh snap.
Oh,
Let's see it.
It's just for TJ.
We're not
Oh,
seeing it.
We'll see it.
Oh, wait, oh, hold on. Picked the wrong screen. Hold on. All right, here we go. I thought I clicked the
But-
right one. Ah, here we go.
yeah, my wife drives
There
a
you go.
Jeep
There you
Wrangler.
go, TJ.
That's awesome.
Funny. That's
You need to get yourself a banana hat also.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Or
funny.
in Fortnite, there's a costume called Peely. It's
What's
like a
up,
full
Lance?
body banana
Andrew?
suit.
You peel me out, right?
That's great.
funny.
Yeah, you can back it in and out of the garage, TJ.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't fit.
Don't worry, honey. I'm gonna take it nice and slow.
So you're happy
Cool.
with your truck then, Jason?
Oh yeah, I'm a Ford guy for one also.
Actually, it's
So-
been what, about 5 years? I think you're due for another one.
Do not send me an Amazon link, Justin.
I'll send you the Ford dealer link.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, they always put those ads out says for Ford customers, we've got a deal for you.
No, I
Oh,
could,
yeah.
I could totally see Jason in a Scat Pack SUV. Have you seen those?
I don't know what that is. Scat Pack. I've heard the term.
That's the Dodge,
Oh yeah.
the Challengers, but they have those SUV version, like the mom car on steroids.
Oh yeah.
That thing looks badass, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd love to have one of the SUVs.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. No, if it's a cool looking truck, I'll drive it. I don't care.
Well, they
Yeah.
have. Well, what's cool about the Dodges, like the Scat Packs and all those, is they actually come with two different keys. So you have the red key and you have the black key. If you drive
Uh-huh.
with the black key, it only unlocks like 300 horsepower. You have to actually have the red key in the car to unlock the full engine,
No kidding. Wow.
and it
Interesting.
unlocks the full 700 or 800 horsepower the engine has. But you have to have that red key in the car with you. So if you give your son or your wife the black key, it only unlocks a certain percentage of the motor for them to be able to hit the gas. But then you keep the red key for yourself.
Well, the
I
only
think that's-
problem, the only problem there is if your kid figured out what was going on, he'd be rustling through your pants and underwear and everything else to get that red key.
But that's what's cool
Yeah,
about
right.
it. I always thought that was a cool feature, though.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Just like a lot of the newer cars now, too. Like if, say, they're under, like, say you buy the car that has 10 miles on it. That's it. A lot of the cars will only allow the vehicle to get up to so much horsepower or so much RPMs until it reaches a certain limit. It has to hit like 100 miles or 200 or 1,000 miles, whatever the break-in period.
Right.
Distance.
Yes.
And then, like a lot of the Dodges do that too, where they won't unlock until they hit 1,000 miles. You have to put 1,000 miles on them first,
Huh,
then it
that's
will
actually
unlock
pretty
them.
neat.
and then it unlocks the full potential. But Jason's, you have Dodges, you got some Jeeps, don't you?
Yeah, my wife drives Jeeps. My son has a
Yeah.
Jeep also. Yep. I've driven Wranglers before, you know. I mean,
Oh,
I've always had either a Ford. I did have, let's see. So my first car was a 79 Jeep Wagoneer, light blue with the wood paneling. That was like my dad's.
yeah,
Yeah, my dad bought that in 1979.
I remember those.
I remember, yeah, man, bench seat, you know. It was
Yep.
cool. It had an 8-track.
Didn't that have the fold down side bench seats in the very back?
This one did not, but it did have a fold down back seat bench, like fold forward, not side. So it
I
was a
remember-
bench seat all the way across.
I know some of the old station wagons had those where that was like actually considered like the first third row seating cars because you had the front seat with 3 people, the back seat 3 people, and then in my aunt's car, she had 2 fold down bench seats in the back that would fold down and face each other. And you
Ah,
could fit 2 people in each one of those.
yeah.
They-
This
they
one did
were
not have
uncomfortable
it.
as shit.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, all car companies, I think, have their good cars and they all have their shitty cars. I don't think any of them are really better than other ones. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no, for
they
sure.
all have their good models and they have their really crappy models.
This guy
Because
looks like. What's up,
you'll
man?
find you'll
No,
find
they-
really good Toyotas and Hondas and
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the office, it's straight this way to the right. There's an office there, and you can ask them. You know, if you want to make sure that you pay your fee to park, so you don't get a ticket, you know, or towed. Because yeah, I've got a pass, so I park for free because I work here. Yeah, yeah. The front office is right over here, but yeah, I'm not sure why they're not why they changed the system out. Yeah, we'll see you inside then. Yeah. Cool. That's funny. It's cool. Brought his kids here to come fly and yeah, the parking garage here does the arm is up, so you get in for free. You know?
but you have to actually pay still.
You're well, so I've got I have a monthly parking pass. All right. But I guess they're changing out the systems now, so I don't know what's going on. I just come and park for free. But
We got a couple parking garages in our city and they're free to everybody. You don't have to pay anything to park there.
yeah.
They don't charge, we don't even have parking meters or anything. Like they
Wow.
don't charge for any kind of parking in our city.
Yeah. No, we've got there's so many
Got two-
different taxes in Virginia Beach in itself as well. You know, like if you go to the movie theater, you have to pay in addition to the sales tax for the ticket, you got to pay an additional 10% for admissions tax. At iFi, because it's a participatory sport, that admissions tax, all right, is now only 5%, but still, it's 11% of the total ticket price to come and fly. That's ridiculous. But
Oh, we
still in
don't pay
Virginia
none
Beach,
of that.
yeah,
We don't even pay state tax.
yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding.
Dude, I haven't filed a state income tax check in what, 10 or 11 years? I haven't had to
Yep.
file for one.
Now, a lot of my friends that were that are and were in the military, whenever they get stationed in Florida, they would change their home residency to Florida to avoid state income tax on their military income, and they keep that for the rest of their military career.
Yeah, that's the way to go, man, because you don't
Heck
have to pay
yeah,
that
get
state
stationed in
tax.
Florida first, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
We're not the only state that does that, but it's definitely is nice not having to pay that.
Oh yeah. Now there's several other states that do that. Illinois is another one. New Jersey is another one. If you're not stationed in New Jersey, if you're stationed in New Jersey and you claim New Jersey residency, then you have to pay state income tax if you live there. Which I'm like, but for the military folk, if anything, everybody should just not even worry about paying state taxes. Just tell them, hey, exempt. You know.
Now, when
But
you would move from state to state, did you even bother changing your ID or your license, or would you just keep it, your old one?
I just kept my old one, my original state. You know, because
Yeah.
with my military ID, with that, was fine, and people would recognize, or the cops. Not that I got pulled over
Didn't
a
give
lot.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking like you got
Recognize
pulled
that it's
over
in
every
the
other
state.
week over there, Jason. What's
That's
going
what it
on?
sound like.
What?
Yeah, getting in trouble with that Raptor while he was in the military.
Close my door. F-18s are flying again. Flying their sorties.
What's up, Donald?
Yeah. I've got the guy that's coming over here to take a look at our LED lights, exterior LED lights. I was looking into it the other night. I was like,
LED lights for
making
what?
the exterior of our building.
Oh,
Yeah, so we could color change them, but there's a section of it is only white, but I've been looking into it. I kind of want to, my wife's got this this metal sign and I want to put lights behind it. I think that would be kind of neat. So I've been looking at LED kits for that, but I'm gonna run inside, guys. I'll catch you guys later on. Yeah.
later.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I show up and
All right.
Jason has
Have a
to
great
leave.
day, everyone.
Yeah, it always seems to be the case. The last couple times, yeah. You just have either that or you're waiting on purpose to pop in when he's leaving. He's like,
Was
yeah, he
it
looks like
Donald?
he's half out the truck. I think he's ready to jump off.
That's why whenever I'm on and Jason shows up, I'm like, up, I gotta go. But
I don't know.
I don't.
I got some LED bulbs in the house, and I'll tell you what, they beat the shit out of it incandescent light bulbs for brightness. They are bright as fuck.
Mhm.
I love the one in my room because we have one up in the ceiling fan, but we have a remote control for it. So it has a little Velcro spot on the headboard on the bed. So that way Sarah or if me want to reach up, we can just reach up, grab the remote, turn the light off or on. You can actually switch it to all different colors if you want. It's just a GE smart bulb that comes with a little remote control. And they're super cheap too. Like you can get one of those on Amazon for like $10. And it comes with a little LED remote. And it's great for your bedroom. So you don't have to get up and flip the switch off. Get to turn the light off.
This is the one week I hate in football
And
season.
Andrew, I don't think you answered us yesterday. How was the damage in your area? I don't think you ever answered us when we asked you. As we didn't hear from you for a few days after the storm, so we were wondering how you were doing in there, over in your area.
Now, where does Andrew live?
South Carolina. I think near
Myrtle
the
Beach
Myrtle
area.
Beach area. Yeah. I spent a lot of time in Myrtle Beach when I lived in North Carolina. It was about an hour from me. Wasn't that far of a drive.
Tourist trap.
40 minutes if the traffic wasn't bad. You could get there in 40 minutes. It was closer. It was about the same distance going to Wilmington from where I lived at. I really liked Wilmington though. I'll tell you what, Wilmington, North Carolina, I love that city. Just the look of it and everything. It had all the old school looking architecture.
Did his area get hit pretty hard?
I don't know. That's what I was asking him. I don't know. I kind of pay attention to the storm when it's coming and as it's happening, but then afterwards, I don't really pay attention to what's going on. If it didn't affect my area, I don't really pay attention to it. So I haven't really been watching the news on it or anything. It feels like 91 already. I'll tell you what, it was hot as shit outside yesterday. 80% humidity today. Ugh. That would be 28 degrees Celsius for any of the foreign people in the chat.
That heat can really be bothersome, especially when I'm sitting here at 55 degrees.
Oh, dude, I loved it. 55. I can't wait till wintertime hits. I love the winters in Florida. Very mild, but nice and cool.
But don't you get all the snowbirds to deal with?
Yeah, you get to see a lot of older people in spandex riding their bicycles down the road. It's not the best sight in the world, but I'm not even kidding about that too. I'm not even joking. When the snowbirds come down, you'll see groups of like 40 of them in this big packs riding their bikes in spandex down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all over the place too. I mean, I give it to them. They're staying in shape for their age, but it does get a little annoying when you get a whole road full of them, because sometimes if there's not a bike lane, they're all up on the road riding, so you get stuck behind them if they're not nice enough to pull over and let you go by. But I don't really like trying to. I mean, you can pass them, but I don't really like trying to do that because it kind of makes me nervous. I don't want to accidentally hit somebody, so. Oh yeah, you'll see a lot of plates from New York and Toronto and Ontario. You see a lot of Ontario plates from Canada.
Yeah, I have seen a few of those Ontario plates from Mexico, but most of them are from Canada.
Oh, Jesus.
Mhm.
And then you see a lot of New Jersey plates. And actually, you'd be surprised how many California plates you actually see in Florida. I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, they just go on the 405 and they just follow it straight down and sorry, the Californians. What are you doing here?
But you do see the more northern states like New Jersey, New York. You see more of those plates than you do like Georgia or North Carolina or South Carolina. You see way more of those plates than the actual states that are closer to Florida. You'll see your fair share of Texas too. Lance said 405 goes east to west. Or west to east. I guess it don't matter which direction you say it in. And then he retracted it, so I don't know if he's right about that. I'm not sure
He's
the
gonna
direction
change
of
it.
the
He's gonna
405.
change it north to south. And
I'm at
I-90.
I-90.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Lance, it's a Saturday Night Live skit called The Californians, and no matter what happens, they say, "Get out of here!" Yeah, I'll probably just hit the 405, and you have to watch the skit to get what I was doing. I wasn't trying to give actual directions to Florida from California.
Interstate 405 goes north to south. Is it true there's an interstate in Hawaii? It's literally called an interstate even though it's not.
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
that before. I've always heard that, but I've never actually looked into it to see.
You know, you have Google.
Shut up.
You're off. You're putting this little thing into my head now that I need to have it solved,
It's H1 and H2. There's two of them.
and they're called interstates.
Yeah.
Which two states
Should
are
be
they?
intrastate.
Yeah, it should be intrastate, not inter.
No, Google actually says this. If you short on time, here's a quick answer. Hawaii has 3 major interstate,
Then it's H3 too.
interstate highways: H1, H2, and H3. Yeah. I guess because do they connect the islands, or
No,
there's no
Just
bridges
around-
going?
just around Oahu.
It wouldn't matter if they connected the islands or not. Those
I'm
islands are all
saying-
part of one state.
Right. I'm saying that'd be the only thing that would make sense to me of why they would call it that, even though they are one state. But yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, because when I was there, it was H1 and H2. H3 was probably built later.
Guess they just wanted to feel included with the rest of the country.
When I was stationed there, that's when Reagan was up for president. By the time we voted, he was already president.
That's like I love the people that get asked, how many states are there? 52. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They're like Alaska and Hawaii. I'm like, you realize they call it the lower 48 for a reason. I was like, there's only 50.
Did
Like,
they
if you
ever,
go-
did they ever make Puerto Rico a state or no?
No, because that would have been the 51st state.
Yep.
They've been trying to make Puerto Rico a state for years, but it never has. It's always been talked about, but never actually any legislation, I think, has ever actually been brought forward to do it. I mean, they're pretty much 90% there. I mean, as far as being a state, they're just not a state. They govern themselves, but then the federal government at any time can go in there and do whatever they want at the end of the day. And they do have, technically, they do have representation in Congress and the Senate. They're just not allowed to vote on anything because they're not officially a state. Same with Guam. Guam also has representation as well, but they're not allowed to vote on anything. So their positions are kind of useless at the end of the day, to be honest with you, to a certain extent. That's probably a good position to get into, to be honest. Get paid to really, I don't think you're really doing a whole lot. Because technically they could make Guam another US state as well if they wanted to. Then you got what, was it the US Virgin Islands? I think.
Yep.
Another territory. The territories, though, they get confusing because there's like 6 or 7 different classifications of a territory. And they can get kind of confusing of what they're actually designated as.
So you start your new job on Monday, Jason? Justin, I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
notice to do it?
Do what?
Did you get a notice from them to show up or what?
Yeah. I go 7 o'clock on Monday morning.
You looking forward to it?
I mean, yeah.
There you go.
Compact of Free Association. So yeah, you have incorporated unorganized territories, unincorporated organized territories, unincorporated organized territories with Commonwealth status, unincorporated unorganized territories. It's like, and they're all different designations. They're fucking confusing as shit.
Yeah, what's up, Mark? Dre, what's going on?
I think we ran out of jokes for TJ, Dre.
Wait, what happened?
Huh.
Silent running.
You got to sing the song for TJ. Let me And let me be your guide.
That's funny. That's funny.
So more.
Hi guys,
Hey, how you doing?
not too bad.
How's the weather on the other side?
Sunny but chilly.
Yeah, it's not very warm here. It's 55 degrees.
Yeah,
Man, we need some of that weather over here. It's like friggin' 80, 90 degrees.
That's what Justin was saying. He enjoys the heat though.
No, I don't. Fucking hate the heat.
what temperature have we got?
I thought you said you enjoy the hotter the better.
Hmm.
It needs to get cold here. Like it only gets cold once in a blue moon here.
Get about 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Change
Get
that
cool weather.
Well, yeah, but your cooler weather is still hot to me.
to 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
It never snows down there, does it?
No. If it did snow, it would be the very top of Florida.
Mm.
But no, never down where I'm at now. I'm sure it probably could happen like once every 100 years. We probably could have the right conditions to get that type of weather, but yeah, it'd be something that'd be super rare.
Yeah, we're 60 degrees at the moment.
Warren, what's up?
Like I said, you'd be surprised how much it actually snowed in Southern California in the desert. It just didn't stick. You'd see it come down, you'd see the flakes in the air, but as soon as it hits the ground, it just melts. That happened quite a bit. And all the mountains around us during the wintertime, a lot of them would have snow on them. Be all snow caps.
Mm.
I went through
Aye.
all my
What?
pictures yesterday. Missed one player.
Looks like UAV forecast have screwed everything up now. There's no free version anymore. You've got to subscribe to get the information.
For what?
UAV
Forecast.
You serious?
The UAV
Yes,
forecast.
Yeah.
I have
could
the I have the app on my phone. I can
Yeah,
easily
if you
get it.
open it, it comes up with preview screen. It doesn't actually come up with your information anymore.
Yeah, it
Well, it
does.
could.
Let me see. 'Cause I have it on mine.
Hold on, you're saying it. So, Joe, it does come up like Mark said?
Yep.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because it's possible it could be different in other countries, but yeah, if you already checked it, then yeah.
Mine says it comes up and says good to fly on here.
Yeah, but has it got two little blue stripes in the corners saying preview?
Oh
might-
yeah, it does say preview on there.
Yeah. So it's not your information, it's just something they've put on.
To show you what it would be like if you subscribed, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's a box that says thanks for using UAV forecast. Subscribe for real time.
Yeah.
Hyperlogical forecast.
And if you click on the subscribe, it does nothing.
I mean, if you know what the limits of your drone are, you can use any weather app to look that shit up. You don't need to pay for it. Kind of stupid.
Yeah, but that kind of sucks that they're doing that now.
Like I
All
said,
about
if
money.
you know,
Well,
if you know
So
what
it's
the
not-
limits of your drone are, you don't need a special app to tell you you're okay to fly. You should be able to figure that out on your own.
Well, I agree,
Yeah,
but
but
I
it-
like to have UAV.
It's handy because it gives you the wind speed at whatever height you want to put in, and it gives you the satellites, and it gives you the KP index, and it gives you the.
Well, how much they charging?
I don't know. I can't get.
Well,
into-
there's different different ones like I guess for a value, I guess monthly is 99 cents, and then
Yeah.
as a hobbyist, it's $3.99, and then professional, it's $6.99.
Yeah, you can find all the information that you want, but it's nice to have a little aggregator.
Well, how much? Hold on, TJ. You said 99 cents a month.
For
And the
what?
Yeah,
top
for-
price is
for-
$6.99 a month.
For a value.
What's
99
the value
cents a
do?
month for value.
How did you? Yeah, but how did you go from nine? Okay, so what does the value give you? That must give you basic ass information.
Yeah, and then as a hobbyist, well, it's 24 hours monthly
Yeah,
for.
the amount of time that
Or
you
you
can
can
look
only
at.
use it for 24 hours.
No.
No, it's how far ahead you can look on the information.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, to me, I guess 24 hours would be enough. I mean, do you really need to go that far? 'Cause
It's all
weather
right
can kind
if you want to look at it for when you're going out now, but if you want to plan what you're going to do next week, then you're going to have to actually
Yeah,
do
but
a
how accurate is that?
day plan or whatever. I don't know.
Because
Accurate as they can get the information from the Met Office and the weather places, I suppose.
I'm just curious how, if they're that accurate with wind speeds, like, would you know a week from now if they say the wind speeds are gonna be 50 miles an hour at 200 feet?
Oh yeah, I
If
agree.
that's actually
When did
right.
when did they start charging people for? I thought the thing was free.
Shit just
There's
started because I used it the other day.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
99
always
cents gives you what?
just 24 hours, I think, which is all
Well,
it was
that-
with the free one anyway.
If
Oh,
that's all, if I got
crazy.
24 hours for 99 cents, I could deal with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here's my question. Are you saying it's you get 24 hours in a month? So in other words,
No.
like you can go see it 24 times or
No,
what?
it's how
No, you
far
can
ahead
put
you can see
often
the
as you
weather.
want.
Okay.
It'll only give you that day's weather. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could deal with that.
Well, I
don't
mean,
need
and
anything else.
and to be reality, like I get what Mark said about planning ahead, but at the same time, you would be double checking all that stuff the day of anyway.
Well, yeah.
So I don't see the point in paying for the more expensive plan unless they're offering more features that you feel like you need. But if you're getting all the same features with all those plans, I would just do the 99-cent one. That's not that bad. I would have to say that's
Oh,
That's
it's okay for a month. That I mean,
yeah, that's
it's
not
just
bad.
that I pressed on the subscribe now button on it. It did bugger all. It wouldn't take me to a subscription page. So I didn't, I couldn't tell how much it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, it used to be free for as long as you could look it up. And then about a year ago, they changed it to the 24 hours only for free. And now they've
Then
done
they
it.
changed it to only for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be able to go out there and hit it and look at it and see all the KP index and everything one time.
Yeah. And pretty much everybody in the drone community uses it.
Yep.
I don't.
You don't
Go out
fly.
there and go. Wind's
I
blowing.
mean, no. All you really have to do is just look outside, be like, oh, it
I
looks
fly.
okay to fly.
I
If
flew,
No,
I
I
flew
think
just
you
the other
did,
day.
JD.
If it's raining outside, and you're like, oh, I guess I can't go out flying today because it's raining.
That's true.
Well, like I said, I got Mark's point about planning ahead, but like as somebody as meticulous as Donald is, you would be checking all that at that day of you going out anyway. So
Yeah,
whenever
whenever I'm gonna go fly, I check everything on the desktop and I go to the different things. I don't really use an app.
well, I'm just saying you're meticulous is what I'm getting to. Like if you're that meticulous in planning your flight, you're probably going to be checking all that the day of before you go out anyway. So.
Yes.
Hey, Justin, that's your word of the day, meticulous?
Meticulous.
Ridiculous.
Mm.
That whole statement was ridiculous. And no, I don't think he heard me, JD. I've asked him twice. I asked him yesterday
Yeah.
and today. And he never
Andrew,
answered.
how is everything there? Did you weather the storm okay?
He didn't answer.
Break.
But yeah, you go to NOAA and you can get all the weather information that you need for that day for the flight, or even for the next day.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of free programs and apps you could probably
Well,
download to have
that's
all.
where they're getting their data. These apps that the apps, and like I said, it's an aggregator. It's really nice to have an aggregator,
Done that.
but it's just an aggregator.
Yeah, it's just what happened is this company made an app. They
It's just an
Pointed it
interface for
towards the
data
drone.
that is available other places.
right, and they market it towards the drone community. The drone community is latched onto it.
Mhm.
And instead of going out like you do and finding the information for free, they're just paying a
Well-
company to go for them.
NOAA. You can go right here. You go to NOAA and type in KP index. There you go.
Yeah. Move. Go that way.
Will it tell you how many drone satellites, GPS satellites you've got visible?
It doesn't matter how many drone satellites I have visible. I don't take off until I have the right number.
Mm.
What do you mean drone satellites?
Well,
Just satellites,
GPS?
GPS satellites.
GPS
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Let
there's
me
not a
look,
set of satellites up there just for the drones.
No, the GPS satellite.
Like a bunch of fucking whole constellation of
I knew
DJI
what he was
satellites up
saying.
there.
Yeah.
I knew what he was saying too. I was like, wait a minute, drone satellites.
And you can turn on and off the different type of satellite as well that it looks for. Because there's 4 different GPS satellite systems.
Oh, look, there's 2 things that are going to be going on if you're outside and you're not getting
Mm.
your normal good amount of GPS satellites. Either the drone's broken or something fucking seriously went wrong in the world.
Or that, the KP index can affect your.
Yeah, the KP index can affect it.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Which is caused by what? Solar flares, right?
Yeah.
So you get a big enough solar flare, wiped out a bunch of satellites, we got a serious fucking problem.
Well, if the solar flare activity is that high and the KP index is high, you'd be able to see the northern lights better.
Right.
Okay, and here is global positioning system, operational satellites up in your sky right now. You just punch in your location,
So it has to have.
and it tells you which ones they are. Navstar 79, Navstar 78.
So it does the GPS, which is American,
Go find it.
which is Chinese, GLONASS, which is Russian, and Galileo, which is European.
Wait, look here. That's just for.
That's
Did y'all hear
crazy
that
to see
whistle? Could y'all hear
Yeah.
that whistle in my background?
Like I said,
I
if
didn't know.
you're
I
need
think I
the
heard
information,
a slight whistle.
if you
Yeah,
want
I
the
don't know what
information
it's
that's out
coming
there,
from.
just put a couple bookmarks for the information that you use. I don't use the satellite. I don't go on and say how many satellites are going to be available. I assume they are going to be available. I just wait. I've never had a situation
go,
where
go,
I did not
go,
get
go.
satellites.
Mm.
So you have never felt like you needed to look that up because it's never been an issue.
Right,
yeah.
it's never been an issue.
No, it shouldn't be an issue.
So I don't worry about hooking it up. If I get there to the location and I'm going to fly and I'm not getting satellites, it doesn't go up.
Joe, that might be the poltergeist in your house.
Well, actually, I won't say that. If I don't get enough satellites, it's not going to go far. Let's put it that
Move.
way.
Move.
Joe, if you hear whistling later down the hallway and you hear, come here. Or that sort of
No,
time
it's
signature
a high pitched whistle. It's like an alarm going off. And I can't tell if it's coming from outside or it's coming from inside. And when I walk around the front, it goes off.
Okay, I watched a video the other day. I saw a video of a person in their house, and they heard a little kid giggling.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen that video?
No.
They're in their house, and they're like,
That's pretty funny.
you hear that? And there's a little kid. I'm gonna wait till TJ's done.
If you hear whistling and somebody whispering, come here, come here. That's funny.
TJ, center yourself so Donald can finish his story. Center yourself.
It's okay. You can laugh.
No, I want to hear the story. How about little?
Okay, so they're all right. There's they're in the house, and they're like, you hear that? And it's a little kid laughing, going ha 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 ha. And you're like, what the hell? And they go up, take the video up, and it's a door creaking, but it's just pop 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 as it's creaking, but it sounds like a little kid laughing down an empty hallway. And it's like,
Well,
man.
Get a new door.
That sounds pretty creepy though, like a little kid laughing down the hallway.
Dude, I don't give a shit if it's a kid or a grown ass adult. Sounds like they're laughing down the hallway. That should be nobody down that hallway. We got a fucking problem.
Yeah. Somebody
Well-
needs to go and oil TJ's doors.
Well, if it's an adult, you think, okay, intruder. If it's a little kid, you're thinking, okay, supernatural.
Supernatural.
That's what I said. You're gonna hear Joe's back closet door later. It's gonna be like, hey, come here, come here. Let me talk to you. Then you're just gonna see the door slam.
That's funny.
What I want to know, TJ, was that funny?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood for that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, the only thing I could think of to do at that point is just start firing blindly through the walls. The biggest gun you have.
No, head for the front door, setting fire to everything on the way.
There you go. Just leaving a trail of gas through the house. I don't know how Paul lives in his house, man. His shit, this some creepy shit has happened.
Actually,
in his
no, I
house.
would go investigate. I'd assume somebody's messing with me because I don't believe in the supernatural.
I find that subject to be interesting, but it's just hard because so many shit has been.
I
All
have
these
a
ghost
niece that
shows
still
are so
hasn't forgiven me
staged.
because they thought it'd be funny. She was into ghost hunting when she was younger, and her parents thought it'd be really cool if they took me out to a cemetery and they were going to do a ghost hunt in this old cemetery, and they had me go out. I had my wife drop me off, and I hid in the cemetery. So when the girls came out, when it got dark, I'm already there in the cemetery, and I'm making noises. And she believed it. She believed there was spooky stuff going on. And because I had like a iPod at the time inside of an old PVC pipe, so it kind of sounded a little hollow. And I just had just random sounds on this. I made this audio recording, just random sounds going off periodically, so they would hear stuff that direction. And I'm hiding over behind this big tombstone, and I had a pile of rocks, and I'd stand up and I would just pitch rocks in different parts of the cemetery, and they'd hear the noise and go walk
Wow.
around. And finally I started zeroing in on my hiding place, and so I grabbed a rock and just tapped on the headstone, and she's asking questions and I'm tapping answers.
Like I find that, like I said, I find the subject to be very interesting, but I've been in places that people claimed were haunted, and I just never experienced anything.
Oh yeah, they said,
And
would
I
you
think
mind
the
hanging out in
power-
this old cemetery? And it's like, yeah, I went out there and I basically just kicked back and just took a power nap on a headstone in the middle of a cemetery. I don't mind. It's just a
But it's just like, I think the power of persuasion fucks with people a lot in their heads. You know,
Shoot, my mom and dad did it on top of
they go
somebody's
out-
grave one time.
that's,
Yeah,
that's,
I don't think that could really
that's not
happen in real
creepy.
life,
That's
like-
just morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Justin, that wasn't the creepy part. The creepy part is that Joe was watching.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
my
think
mom
that
used to
could
tell us
happen.
about, they used to meet in the cemetery at night and do it on the grave.
Oh my God. Well, we know where Joe was conceived at.
Yeah, I don't know. I
That
don't
was
think that could happen
early
in real
on.
life. You just be like sleeping one night, and all of a sudden, like the zombies start coming up out of the ground. Like, good. Like I remember watching the.
That'd be every
that Michael-
redneck's dream. They get to
Well,
pull out
of
all
course,
their whole
who
arsenal.
does not have a zombie survival plan in their head?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Everybody's
who
got a
hasn't
zombie
thought of it?
survival plan in their head. If there's a zombie outbreak, cities
Well,
might
and
go
it-
down, but
Man, I would just close all the shutters. Like I have those shutters on my windows. I would just close all them up.
yeah, that's not going to work, TJ. Sorry.
Well, no.
Why? They
Don-
can't get through. They can't get
Have
through
you
there.
have you never watched the original Night of the Living Dead?
Well, hold on, Donald.
Yeah.
It
No,
depends on
I
what
don't-
type of zombie. Are we talking?
That's
Are we
true.
talking
Fast
because
zombies or
Walking Dead zombies or the Umbrella Corporation type zombies? You know.
true. Well, you know, even one of the most insidious and scary zombies would be from Return of the Living Dead,
yeah.
because they had some logic in their thought. They could think. They could plan.
Yeah,
And-
they weren't completely just brain dead. Yeah.
And if you stabbed them in the head, it didn't stop them. You could cut them in all kinds of pieces, stab them in the head. Didn't
Yeah.
matter. They were still alive.
That movie
after you.
did kind of move away from what you traditionally would think of a zombie from all
Oh
the
yeah,
other movies.
it was a little bit not
took
as
it
much
a
as
little
the
bit.
Umbrella Corporation did.
I've
Oh, I
got,
know, but those that's what I'm saying. If you had to deal with those kind of zombies, sorry, TJ, your shutters walls are all coming down.
Yeah. Rage
Well, why
Virus,
would- why wouldn't they-
Umbrella
why wouldn't they
Corporation
look-
and Rage Virus are about the same.
I've got
So-
2 or 3 large, sharp machetes in the garage.
So let me ask this: if there happened to be one day a zombie apocalypse and I closed all my shutters, why wouldn't that stop the zombies from? Why would
Like we
coming
said,
in?
it depends on what kind of zombies they are. If
Uh,
they're your standard Walking Dead zombies, then yeah, they're probably just going to keep walking into the wall.
Maybe not. You know, the Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead,
What you've got to
busted
remember,
in through shutters on that. They surrounded the house.
what you've got to remember is that the zombies have come up through the ground from their graves.
Hmm.
So digging a tunnel underneath your foundations and into your floor space and
You're
coming
thinking that they can plan, though. That's thinking planning.
so
But they also don't feel pain, so it doesn't matter if they stick their hand in through a
Well, and see
shutter and where people would hurt themselves. They don't feel the pain.
And the
Nope.
the problem with machetes, Mark, this is where you'd face an issue: is how well is your stamina? Because
Uh,
you're only going to be able to swing that thing for so long before you get tired, and they fucking
Yeah.
overwhelm you. At least with a gun, you can sit in place and just keep firing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of
just
ammunition.
shoot them in the head and they'll be dead.
well, no, you've actually got to chop the head off.
But no, seriously, when it came down to it, though, if you were going to use a sword or a machete as your primary weapon, your stamina would have to be pretty damn good,
Stop.
yes.
and you'd have to be fast. Like
Uh,
you couldn't be.
In that case, I'd have to use the petrol-powered brush cutter.
He's out there with a fucking hedge trimmer. Like, get back, get
Yeah.
back.
No, early in the apocalypse, you're going to want to go gas powered.
Yeah.
Electricity can go away. You want to go gas powered. You want something that can do damage, but
I've also got a
some
pet.
distance. A decent chainsaw would be
I've
good,
got a petrol
as long
chainsaw
as
and
it's reliable.
a brush cutter.
Uh-huh.
Um,
You could always go do the old Honda generator with the 30-foot extension cord running around the electric.
Yeah,
But-
but also got a rechargeable electric chainsaw as well.
You see somebody running with a fucking electric chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's been in some
Michael, you have not seen Carlito's Way? That
When
is your
they
homework
go-
assignment for the week. Watch Carlito's Way. Wonderful movie.
Is that a zombie movie?
Oh no, it's a mob movie.
Oh.
There have been some films where somebody has been using an electric tool to do something with, and they've gone running after them, and all of a sudden the
The
tool
cord pulls out.
stops
Yeah.
because it comes out the socket. Yeah.
Cool Cat, human brains being tasty. The human brains thing came from Return of the Living Dead. Before that, they were just mindless monsters coming after human flesh. But it wasn't until Return of the Living Dead that they were actually wanting brains. So
Yeah,
that's
because
where
they
that comes
go
from.
brains.
And according to Return of the Living Dead, they were in constant pain, and human brains alleviated the pain somewhat.
Or most even modern zombie movies, it didn't matter what part of the body, they just wanted to eat you. They'd
Right.
Yeah.
But where brains comes from is Return of the Living Dead. They were specifically after the brain.
And they would say it when they were walking too, right?
Uh-huh.
They'd be like brains, brains.
Like, your brains smell so good. That was when the
Yeah.
one guy was turning into a zombie.
Remember that one movie? What was it? Something hearts, warm hearts or whatever. It was a zombie movie, but the
Oh yeah,
one zombie.
the love story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zombie
yeah.
love story.
That was kind of nice.
Oh yeah, where they all talk like regular humans and everything. They were just
Yeah.
zombies,
Uh,
Yeah.
but they were just they seemed like regular people when you talk to them.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Or maybe I'm
they
thinking
were
of a
kind
different
of
one.
no. That was a different one. This was a one where they were kind of that way, but it was one of the zombies sees the girl and he starts falling in love. And he had a little bit of spark left in his brain to fall in love. Is that the one you're thinking about, TJ?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
Have you guys seen Fido?
No.
Fido.
Fido is a great movie. It's as far as zombie movies.
Is it a zombie
Basically-
dog?
Do what?
Is it a zombie dog?
No,
Yeah, Fido.
no, but it is. It is sort of. It is a set in like a 50s style universe where a zombie outbreak had happened, but they had come up with these collars that
That's
would
right.
turn off
Oh my
their
God.
desire to eat people.
Okay.
And so all these zombies are outfitted with these collars by the big corporation that runs everything. And now the living get head, Jesus Christ.
Is that an act? Is that an act? That sounds like a porn movie. Is this an
I
actual
wouldn't be
movie?
surprised if that's an actual porn movie.
So yeah, but
Oh.
anyway, people use these zombies like to as slaves. They mow the lawn and whatever, and the dad goes to work for the corporation, and so as part of that, they make him take a zombie, and so he brings the zombie home and gives it to the boy to act as a pet, and so he calls him Fido.
TJ, you've heard of like the other porn movies, right? Harry Twatter
I don't think so.
or Shaving Ryan's Private?
Oh, I saw that in Mad Magazine, Shaving Ryan's Privates or something.
And Michael, you would appreciate it has Billy Connolly as Fido,
Oh God.
and he does a great job. But anyway, yeah, it's a wonderful
Nobody
little.
in America would be able to understand him.
He doesn't grunt in an accent.
He actually lives in Florida.
Billy Connolly lives in Florida?
Yeah.
Huh.
They actually
so
have
I
one
just-
called Orgy of the Dead.
I just googled Night of the Giving Dead, and I think it might be. It says
No, it's Night of the Giving Head, not
Yeah,
dead.
that's what I said. Night of the Giving Head. That's what I said.
Oh.
I said, and it says, and ionizing radiation is penetrating through the holes in
Oh
the
God.
changing male sperm,
Oh,
females
it's extremely important penetration.
who come into contact with it turn into sperm craving zombies, while
My
males lose.
disclaimer's in red.
Okay. It turns out that YouTube has Fido free with ads. And I just put the link in the chat if you're interested.
That's pretty crazy.
Hey, here's one. Here's one that they made. Han Solo,
Han Solo.
Game of Bones.
A Game of Bones.
Well,
Pamela Stevenson, she was in Not the 9 O'Clock News, wasn't she? With
see, I always liked movies that sounded like they should be porn movies, but they aren't actually porn movies.
Chris Jones and Mel Smith.
So there's a lot of movies that sound like they should be porn titles, but they're not porn titles. Like Shia LaBeouf was in a movie called Holes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
You got Fiddler on the Roof. That can be Fiddle Her on the Roof.
Should have been Diddle Her on the roof.
A giggler on the roof.
No, Diddle with a D. Diddle.
Yeah, but then you have to change something. Fiddle. You can fiddle.
Yeah,
You got-
Diddle. Diddle
Fiddle,
Her on the roof.
fiddle is the same, basically the same thing as diddle.
Wild Hogs, yes, JD.
That's
That's another good one. Wild Hogs is another good one. Here's one
Oh, yeah,
from
Wild Hogs, yeah.
instead of Power Rangers, they're called the Power Bangers.
Power
Power
Bangers.
Bangers.
Anchor Woman, a love parody. Oh, they actually got a Simpsons porno. Oh my God. Live action Simpsons porn. The Dark Knight Triple X. The Queen of Thrones. Oh wow, she's not bad looking. They got a Scooby Doo one, a live action Scooby Doo.
Gladiator, yeah.
So glad he ate her.
The Whore of Wall Street. They have a live. They have a movie called The Whore of Wall Street.
That's awesome.
No, Michael. Queenie is Miranda Richardson.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I think I'm gonna jump off and try to figure out something to do with myself.
Well, you've
see
been
if
given
there's
lots
a-
of suggestions.
Hey, don't go out and play with yourself now.
Ew, gross.
Sure got off quick after talking about porn.
Pretty sure they had a Star Wars, I don't remember.
I didn't see that one on the top 50 funniest movie titles, but
Oh,
yeah,
is
I'm
there?
sure there's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there is one. That would not surprise me.
Well, yeah, it's right there.
Any dirty name you could think of, they probably have used at
Yeah.
some point.
Who's eating Gilbert's grape?
Yeah,
TJ leaving after porn talk. Nothing suspicious.
yeah, that's what I
there.
said.
Don't
He
be,
got off quick.
don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Flesh Gordon. Yep, I've heard
Flesh
of that one.
Gordon was a weird film. There was also, was it
That was-
Felix the Cat?
Yeah, Flash Gordon was the one that Ted and
I think you're thinking Fritz the cat.
Fritz the Cat, that was it.
Yep.
that was the movie that Mark Wahlberg and Ted in the Ted movies were obsessed with. Was Flash Gordon.
Yeah, Fritz
He
the
was
cat
in
was
the-
Ralph Bakshi, and
Mhm.
I like Ralph Bakshi.
Because the guy that actually played Flash Gordon's been in all the Ted movies.
No, not
yeah.
Flash Gordon, Flesh Gordon.
Oh, Flash Gordon. Yeah.
That was an actual film that it was actually funny, but yeah.
Dude, all these Europeans are absolutely obsessed with Walmart on YouTube. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, we visited Walmart, and oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe. Yeah, the British react to or Irish react to. There's a ton of those videos.
Yeah, there is.
I don't understand. It's weird.
It's no
Well,
different than going to Asda.
I'm telling you, there's a difference.
Well, it might
Because
it might
those
be bigger and more products, but it's just the same. It's a
Oh,
supermarket.
I know that, but I'm saying the videos aren't entirely untrue of their reactions because,
Mm.
like I said, when I worked at Walmart, I used to meet a ton of people from Britain and from Canada that would come down here for the first time or come over for the first time. And they would literally sit and take pictures all over Walmart because they couldn't believe how big it was. And that's why I said it's not entirely untrue, their reactions on Walmart. As
Mm.
far as some of them that have never been here before. I used to get a lot of British people. They would take pictures of the candy aisle and they would take pictures of the cereal aisle because they couldn't believe how many cereals we had and the same brands with like 30 different flavors. And it used to
Mhm.
blow their mind. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not entirely untrue. Now, whether some of these reaction channels, I'm sure have probably staged some of it, but like I said,
Yeah.
that's not the concept behind the videos isn't entirely true.
I mean, we can probably get the same cereals over here, but our supermarkets are selective in what they sell because if you have too many, there are some things you're just not going to sell.
Right, just like I was talking to Matt about M&Ms one day, different flavors of M&Ms, and he was like, "Oh yeah," it was either Dominic or Matt, and they were talking about how they could only get like 3 or 4 flavors over there. I was like, "Dude, you go to Walmart and they got about 15 or 20 different flavors of M&Ms."
Yeah,
Of
I
all
think
different-
I've only seen 3 here. which are the
Yeah.
peanut ones, the plain chocolate ones.
And out of all of them, the peanut ones are my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
Like we have ones with pretzels inside of them, ones with coffee beans inside of them. I mean, there's just all kinds of different flavors. Peanut butter ones.
The coffee beans one sounds nice.
I don't like coffee, but I have
Mm.
seen people that have eaten them in person and they really like them. So,
Mm.
and then Walmart also sells chocolate covered coffee beans in the coffee aisle that you can buy as well.
Yeah.
That a couple of my cousins and my dad were absolutely obsessed with for a while. And they'd put them in the fridge and get them nice and cold in a container,
Mhm.
and then they would sit and munch down on those things.
Good morning.
I always put my chocolate in the fridge, sometimes even in the freezer.
But yeah, it's oh, JD likes almond M&Ms and then the pretzel ones. Yeah, I like the pretzel ones too. The little bit of saltiness with the chocolate goes really nice together.
Yeah, almond seems to be a more popular nut over there than it is here, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
Although almond flavor, like marzipan and stuff like that, is quite popular here.
Oh yeah, a lot of people that are big bakers will bake with almonds and stuff. It gets used in a lot of desserts.
I like
then
almonds. An almond
some
slice is really nice.
Yeah, some people put almonds in their salads. I mean, there's quite a few different things they use it for, but it's used for a lot of baking over here.
I mean, if you buy Cadbury's fruit and nut chocolate, that is raisins and almonds. Whereas if you get the whole nut, that's hazelnuts.
Now, I will give it to the Hershey's chocolate. When it comes to foreigners eating it, they either love it or they hate it. There is no in between. Because
yeah, it doesn't taste the same as our chocolate, does it?
All right, no. And apparently there is a chemical that is used in it that we use in it, some kind of flavoring or something that gets used in our chocolate. And because you guys didn't grow up on it and you're not used to it, some people from Europe says it actually kind of gives them almost a vomit flavor. We don't taste it because we've grown up eating it.
Yeah.
But I've heard people from England say that it has almost like this vomit type flavor to it. And I can't remember what the chemical is. It's some kind of additive we use in our chocolate that Hershey uses in their chocolate. But we can get all the chocolates that you guys like, the Cadbury's, all the foreign chocolates like that are made in different, like Swiss and all that. They sell most of that stuff over here.
Lindor and
Oh yeah, Lindors are very nice. I love Lindor chocolates. Yeah, we can get all those over here as well, but
Galaxy.
But I have heard people from England, when I've seen them do the test of Hershey's chocolate, I've never seen anybody say, it's okay. It's either they absolutely love it or they fucking hate it. It's one of the two. Like they think it's disgusting tasting or they like it.
Yeah. I mean, I had some chocolate in the Philippines and it was absolutely bloody awful, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's like, I love Mexican food, but I think Mexico completely dropped the ball when it came to candy and sweets. I think they have some of the most disgusting sweets ever. And I grew up around them. Because a lot of not everything is nasty. Like they do have some sweets that are okay. But a lot of their hard candies and stuff, they put chili powder on fucking everything. And to me, it's absolutely disgusting because it overpowers the candy.
I can't argue with that. Chili chocolate's nice. Have you ever had that?
I've had some versions of Mexican chocolate that had chili in it, and I didn't like it.
We can get chocolate that has crystallized chili pieces in it, and that's pretty good. It's not that they put chili powder in it, it's just that you've got the crystallized chunks of chili in it.
Okay, that's different than what I've had, but Like I said, I grew up in Southern California, so I was around a lot of Mexican candy and foods, and their foods
Mm.
are delicious. I think Mexico completely dropped the ball on desserts and as far as candy goes. They do
Mhm.
have a few things that are good, but I think a majority of their shit tastes like crap. And some of my cousins were Mexican too, so that's where I go into their houses and stuff. They always had a lot of Mexican style stuff at their houses as well.
Yeah, I like Mexican food. I like
One of my
anything. I like anything that's spicy, really.
one of my aunts married somebody from Mexico, and so three of my cousins were half Mexican, but they definitely looked Mexican, and they adopted more of the Mexican culture when they were growing up. So when I would go to their houses, you definitely had a different kind of atmosphere than what you would normally in. So it was always nice though, because I'll tell you what, Mexicans throw some of the coolest barbecues and parties. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
they'll fucking load you down with food.
Yeah, isn't it Lloyd that one of his neighbours is Mexican or something, and they keep bringing him food over when they've got a do on?
Yeah, I remember him saying somebody. I don't remember what nationality they were,
Mm,
but yeah, I remember him saying that they bring him food all the time.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Raisinets, dude. Cool cat. That's the little raisins over here that are covered in chocolate. Those
Oh
are
yeah,
really nice.
we've got them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we call them Raisinets here. I don't know if the same brand
Yeah,
over there.
I think they've been known to be called that. Yeah. In one particular, there's lots of different ones you can get, but I think we do have
Ours
Raisinets as well.
ours come in like a bright yellow bag, and they say Raisinets on them.
Well, it just depends on who makes them over here as to what they've called them.
Yeah, and chocolate covered like almonds and peanuts
Mm.
and stuff. Yeah, those are always nice as well. And one thing I actually had one time that I thought was going to be gross, but was actually really good was chocolate covered bacon. That was
Yeah,
actually very
that's
good.
different.
Well,
was at a,
I would say that chocolate and the salt would be good.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I was kind of thrown off because, it was kind of meat and chocolate, but then I went into this bakery in North Carolina and they were kind of well known for it in that area. And I tried a couple pieces and I actually liked it. It was really good. Now I'm sure it probably depends on, you probably want the right type of chocolate and
Mm.
a good piece of bacon, a good cut of bacon, but yeah, I don't. But yeah, they would just cook the bacon, get it nice and crispy, and then they'd coat it in the chocolate, let it cool, and then
Mm.
they would just sell it like that. It was
I
actually really
mean,
good.
we also have the raisins that are covered in like the hard yogurt.
Yeah, we have those.
Hmm?
You
Yeah.
don't get the raisin yogurts or yogurt
Yeah.
raisins, whatever
Yogurt
they
covered
call it.
raisin, yeah.
Right, because I think Raisinette actually makes those.
Yeah, they're
I
kind of like
think the
raisinets.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think the same. They have, I think, a offshoot of Raisinets that are those.
Mm. But I mean, you can also buy a mixture of chocolate raisins and chocolate peanuts in the same bag.
Basically, raisinets and goobers.
Yeah. Well, I'll take your word for it. I've never heard them called goobers before. Mm.
That's pretty much what they are over here. That's just the name of them.
Yeah, they just call
Such
them
a
chocolate.
goober.
Just call them chocolate peanuts over here.
One of my biggest surprises to me was deep fried Mars bars.
Oh, in Scotland.
Oh, dude, nah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Michael, if you ever get the chance to come to the US, go to a state fair and you can have every deep fried fucking snack food you can imagine.
You can
Yeah.
have deep fried butter.
Yeah.
You
Deep
can.
fried, yeah.
That's
Deep
not a
fried
joke.
Twinkie.
Do
Deep
they
fried
coat it?
Twinkies.
Do they
all
coat
kinds of
it
shit.
in a batter first before they deep fry it?
Yes.
Like they do here.
So
Yeah.
they take like the chilled butter
Yeah.
And they'll coat it and then they'll deep fry it. So then it just melts in there and the dough cooks, the batter on the outside cooks, and it just becomes this little burst of buttery. Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, deep
it's
fried
hardtack basically.
mozzarella and deep fried camembert. That's quite nice over here.
Okay, now you done went off the fucking rails, cool cat. White chocolate with cauliflower. All right.
No,
White chocolate with cauliflower.
I can do
I
it separate, but I
think-
can't do it together.
Different.
I don't think he meant white chocolate. I think he said wild. I mean, he might have meant white. I don't know. Hey, I don't
Yeah,
care
we-
if it's white or dark chocolate. You done lost me on that one.
Yeah, I think he might have meant wild chocolate has
Well,
a very
deep,
interesting.
if I'm not
Pleasant
mistaken, deep
flavor.
fried ice cream's not actually deep fried though. It's just a
Yeah, it is.
ball of ice cream that's rolled in coating, isn't it?
No, it's deep fried.
Is it? Okay.
Goobers and raisinets. Goobers and raisinets. Now the jingle's in my head.
And now Donald is thinking about more things to put in. What's it? Snack bar.
But I'm assuming when you deep fry ice cream, it probably cooks so fast that it doesn't melt. It doesn't have time to melt the ice cream, right? The batter.
Well, it don't.
Assume it's like
It don't
instantly.
get. It don't get through the batter.
Well, what I'm saying is it would have to, it's probably one of those things, as soon as you drop it in the oil, you're probably rotating it really quickly and pulling it right directly out almost instantly after you put it in.
Mm.
Probably doesn't spend more than 30 seconds in the oil. It's like when you're cooking homemade chips and stuff, you got it, it's really quick.
Mm.
You know, you drop them in there and they don't have to sit in there more than like 20, 30 seconds or you'll overcook them. You can get all the data you want. I'm not going with it.
Yeah, it's just like the guys who eat that or drink that coffee that's passed through a cat's ass, the civet cat.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can tell me it tastes great all you want.
But you know where that
But
bean came from.
you saved that for yourself. It is a luxury.
Yeah.
That's special for you.
The first time I ever heard about that coffee was in the movie Bucket List. And I didn't think it was real, and I looked it up. I
Yeah,
was
of course
like,
it is. Yeah.
in the movie Bucket List, he gives.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen the movie Bucket List?
Nope. I know that it's Jack Nicholson and
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
So yeah,
Good
when they're
movie.
in the hospital, Jack Nicholson's like a multi-billionaire or millionaire. He's like super rich.
Mhm.
Well, his butler comes in every day to fix him that coffee. It has this big old like grand machine that he has in the hospital because Jack Nicholson owns the hospital. So he can have whatever he wants in his room. So he has this big ass machine and his butler comes in every day to make his coffee for him. And he doesn't know that that's where the coffee comes from. And Morgan Freeman is
He just
kind of
knows
the
it's
poor,
expensive, so it's the best.
well, he's kind of the poor broke guy, but very smart, right? He's a big book reader. He knows a lot. And he explains to Jack Nicholson in the movie, hey, this is where it comes from.
I
And
mean,
just
is
the
it
look on,
in it a civic cat? It has to go through.
Yes, it's a civet cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the Bucket List was actually a pretty good movie. You should
Good
should
movie.
definitely go
Oh, that's a
watch
good
it.
one, Michael. He says he's never seen the bucket list, but he's promised himself to watch it before he dies.
I'm surprised you've never seen it, Donald. It's actually a good movie.
It looked good. I just never got around to seeing it. I wonder if it's on Tubi or anything.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
Very good movie. The ending is actually very good.
Goobers and raisinets.
Goobers and Raisinets, huh?
You guys don't remember that jingle they would play like in the movie,
No,
like at the drive-in? Yeah.
Goobers and Raisinets.
Pretty sure they played the
And
dragon.
I never was big on Raisinets or Goobers.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
I
like one
like
of
the
the
Goobers.
jingles.
I wasn't a big fan of the Raisinets. And I think combining chocolate covered raisins and chocolate covered peanuts in the same container, I'm sorry, Mark, but it's evil as hell.
Because you don't know which one you're going to get. Yeah.
Right.
And then it'd be like every other mixed bag, right? It'd be whichever one you enjoyed the most would be the one that they put a lot less of in, right?
Mhm.
For every one peanut, you'd get like 20 raisins, or
Or-
vice versa.
Or you know what? Here's the thing. I really like chocolate covered peanuts and I kind of like chocolate covered raisins, but I prefer chocolate covered peanuts. So I'm eating out of this box of mixed peanuts and raisins in there, and I don't know which is which. And I get down to the bottom and I've got a little handful, and I grab one. That's a peanut, and the last one is a raisin, and I end the box on my least favorite instead of my most favorite.
Yeah.
Not like first world
There is
problems. They're the
also-
worst.
We have a thing called Revels, and it's a bag of chocolate covered, and it's raisins, peanuts, toffee, biscuit,
And you don't know what's in which.
You're
orange.
kidding.
Yeah, orange candy. And yeah, you don't know which
Yeah,
one.
I saw it referenced
chocolate
on a sitcom one
Yeah.
time, so I had to look it up.
Poor
And it's
kid
like,
in
oh.
Kenya hasn't eaten in 2 weeks,
And
and
I
Donald's like,
think-
"You fucked up my snack for the day."
Yeah. And I think the joke was that somebody had been nibbling on the Revel to find out what was in them
Find out what was inside them.
and putting them back in the bag.
Well, if you ever become rich, you could just be one of those assholes. I only eat the red M&Ms, and you have a whole team sorting out M&Ms for you.
They also had
Stop.
they also had minstrels, which had a candy outer shell as well.
Did you say minstrels?
Minstrel, that sounds like a
Min-
minstrel period.
Minstrel, as in the black and white minstrels, or as in a 17th century music playing wanderer.
Yes.
Never heard of them.
Never
Yeah.
heard of Minstrel?
Not in a candy.
A wandering minstrel. I
I want,
can't
you know
remember.
that, and that's what sucks about mixed snack foods too. Is like I said, whatever your most favorite part of it or the best part of that snack is the one they always put the least less of in there.
If you've ever watched Robin Hood, Alan a Dale was a minstrel.
Mm-hmm.
Minstrels were giant Smarties. What?
Yeah. A Smartie is a small chocolate in a coloured candy. They have different colours.
Oh, our Smarties are just compressed little sugar pieces.
Yeah.
No, ours are a candy covering over a chocolate button. And minstrels were about 3 or 4
A
times.
candy
big.
coating over a chocolate button sounds like an M&M.
It is kind of, but they were there a lot longer before M&M.
Oh yeah, I was looking up to see.
And they
Yeah.
come in a tube.
Quiet, please.
I got 2 wandering minstrels in my house at least 1 week out of every month.
thing I like about Tubi is if you look up something like bucket list and they don't have it, it
They'll
doesn't
tell
come
you
up
where.
with not found. It comes up with all the other movies that, this is similar to it, like Thelma and Louise. And
Yeah.
no, I do like it because, okay, you don't have it, but here's some other type of shows that
You might
they'll
like.
bring up other Morgan Freeman movies, and
Mm.
it's like, okay.
People who watch this movie also watch these.
Right. And I like that because you discover other movies that way.
Mm.
I take it they didn't have it.
They didn't have it. I'm looking up.
It's probably on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix.
He doesn't have any of the streaming services.
Right.
I refuse
Prob-
to
in that
pay
case,
money.
It's probably on YouTube.
No, I already checked YouTube. I was gonna
Oh,
send.
there's
all of the link. They had it.
I might check that other link that I have been given recently. Duh. Let me go to my desktop, find that link.
What's that? The one that been sent Despicable 3 or 4 to me.
What?
I haven't sent Donald a link in a long time.
All
He
right.
didn't want the link last time I sent it to him.
I know it's criminal and
Or did you get on somebody's Plex
What's-
server?
What's criminal is the amount of money that streaming sites and the cinema charge you to actually watch the damn things.
yep, it's on there. So yeah, I might watch it.
Somebody let you on their Plex server?
Oh,
Yeah. Me and Tim are on Corey's Plex server, so he's got all kinds of shit on there for us to watch. Corey's got his own Plex server. Because me and Tim got access to it. Oh yeah, it's a fun movie. I think you'll enjoy it.
look here, Sparklight Masters.
Sarah's bringing pizza home for lunch.
I think my fish filter wants cleaning out. It keeps on going on and off instead of being a constant.
You see that film by Denzel Washington about time traveling cop called Deja Vu's? Well, I should have help thinking I'd seen it before at some point. Although I wouldn't be surprised if that hasn't been a movie plot 3 or 4 times before. Sure, it probably has.
I don't think I have seen a time traveling cop.
Although I know he was just being funny with the title, but I'm sure there probably is a movie.
Oh, there
out
is.
Oh, you have to, there's Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. There is in the one with Jet Li as well.
No, he's just being he's just being funny. Also, I read Great Expectations, which I found enormously disappointing,
Mm.
and not really as good as I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
What
Yeah,
he's saying, your
I'm
your
sure
greatest
the-
expectation will be your greatest disappointment.
I'm sure there was a time cop series or a couple of films with Jet Li.
Probably.
Is that
Like
a newer
like
movie,
sequels to
Cool
it?
Cat? I don't. If it's an older movie, I don't remember it. Deja.
I'm pretty sure there's a TV series as well about something like that.
Oh no, it was a 2006 movie. Okay. I'll have to go look that up and watch it. I don't think I've seen that. I don't
What?
remember that movie. American Science, the Deja Vu movie, with Denzel Washington, came out in 2006.
All right.
It involves an ATF agent who travels back in time in an attempt to prevent a domestic terrorist attack that takes place. I hate when you're reading a description or an article and you click on it and then it's not there when it takes you to the page.
The One.
Fucking
Jet Li
annoying.
was in The One. He's talking about where he was a good guy and his twin brother was evil.
Mm. That was it.
Okay, so it was a terrorist attack in New Orleans on a New Orleans ferry. And he joins this top secret government program to find the bomber. Okay. That sounds pretty interesting. I'll have to check it out. Still in the time period where movies were still okay. The last few years, half the movies have been
Time
quite
Cop 2 was
disappointing.
Jason Scott Lee. He played Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee story.
Mm-hmm.
The one recent movie that I watched that I actually enjoyed and I felt like I got my money's worth at the movie theater was Deadpool.
Mm.
But most of the new movies I watched, I would have been highly disappointed going to the theater and paying to watch them. Were they good? Yeah, but were they movie theater good? No.
Bill Coast to Coast was on about that last night because he finally got round to watching it.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's on that
Mhm.
same site I sent you for Despicable 4.
I've already
It's on
seen.
there too. Yeah, it's really good. I gotta keep an eye out for.
All three of them back to back.
I gotta keep an eye out for Dusty for the new Beetlejuice movie when that comes out, and I get a good link for that. I gotta send
Yeah,
it to Dusty. He
I
wants to
don't
watch
know
it.
whether I watched the original Beetlejuice, to be honest.
I sent Dusty the one for Twister, but I
think
don't know if he ever watched it because he never answered me.
Twister's on my my server as well, my IPTV.
Let me see if he did. I don't think he ever answered that. Why did I sent him that? Oh yeah, I did. You watched that movie. I haven't seen him in the chat today.
Can't make my mind up whether to do an Americano in the coffee machine or whether to do a Colombian coffee in the cafetiere.
Is there a new Joker film right now? I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I've heard mixed reviews. Most reviews are like, if you like the first Joker movie, you're not going to like this one.
But
Because
if
it's
you're a
like
hard,
it's like they said, make a sequel, and he didn't want to make a sequel, so he decided to go like he wanted to make a completely different, unique film. So it's a completely
Well,
different, unique film with the same character.
well, my whole aspect behind movies like that too is if you're somebody that's a hardcore fan and you build these expectations up in your head, you can almost get to a point where you might not enjoy the movie for what it is. It might be a good movie, but your expectations are set
I
so
want
high.
to, and people, they're like, this, you're not going to like this, you're not going to like this, and it's like, I might, because I want to see something different. I don't want to see the same thing I don't want to see the same movie repackaged over and over again.
Right. Well, it's like, remember we were talking about Roadhouse. I said I didn't really think Jake Gyllenhaal was the best thing, but I was going to give him a shot, and I did, and the movie was actually really good.
I
And I
like Jake
like the
Gyllenhaal.
I like the fact that I love him as an actor, but I'm just saying like
You didn't
as
think he was
the
perfect for that part.
but when he actually saw that how he had actually built himself up, he went and worked out. He did fit the role better to me. So when I think of Jake Gyllenhaal, I never really thought of him as this big built beefy dude.
You didn't ever watch Jarhead?
I mean, he was built, but not like this Roadhouse movie because they wanted him to be a UFC fighter.
I'll see y'all
So he
later.
was way more cut.
Gotcha.
Jarhead, he kind of looked like any normal
was in shape.
military guy. Yeah, he was in shape, but he wasn't. But Roadhouse, dude, he was fucking cut. Like, but he did a damn good job, and I love the movie for what it was. And on its own, it was a very good movie. And in my personal opinion, I think it's better than the original. Just in my opinion. That's not to take away from the original movie. I just think side by side, that one was better. I think the action and everything was a little bit better in that movie. It had a little bit better story. But that's, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just my personal opinion. I think both movies are really good, but I like the second one, the newer one, better. And did it ever really give in the first one? I can't remember because it has been a while since I've seen it. Did it ever give a backstory on like how he became such a good fighter? Like it did in the newer movie, because he had kind of a backstory of himself. Like
I
he
don't
was,
think so.
I think in the first one, never really gave a backstory. He was just awesome at whooping ass. It didn't really give you any backstory of the character itself. That's kind of what I liked about the new one, I think, too, was it kind of gave you of where he came from and how he got to where he was at, which kind of added to the story a little bit. Where'd Joe go?
I think he had to go. I think he had the baby there.
Uh, but yeah, I try to go into movies with a positive attitude, even if I'm a big fan of a series. I don't go into it with these big expectations. I try to enjoy the movie for what it is, not based on the merits of previous movies. Because like I've seen all the Star Wars films, and I hear all these hardcore Star Wars fans. Oh, that one was a shitty film. I thought they were all good in their own way. I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan, but I enjoyed every one of them I watched. I mean, like I said, I don't go really in depth into Star Wars, but I didn't mind any of them. I know some people get like super in depth with the shit, but I'm actually on the third season of Mandalorian. Not too bad. The only thing I don't like,
all these new movies, I have never seen them,
the only thing I don't like about Mandalorian is how the second season ended and then the third season started, because it doesn't explain anything. The second season, Yoda goes with the Skywalker to train, but then in the third season, he's just back with the Mandalorian. It doesn't tell you anything about like why or where did he go off to training? Did he get done with it and come back? It doesn't tell you any of that. It's like they were planning on going one way with the story, and then with the third season, they decided to go in another direction, and they just didn't explain anything.
Well, you like to watch movies. I stopped watching movies back in the 80s.
You're just missing out on stuff though.
Yeah, there isn't anything much that I really am interested in. That's the
Well,
problem.
how do you know if you've not watched it though? There could be a whole series out there that you might be really interested in. You just never watched it or
I
even knew
doubt it.
about it.
I doubt it.
As you get older, Justin, you start to enjoy being prejudiced against things that you don't know about. It's like, nope, not even gonna give it a chance because I've seen enough of this other shit in the past that I'm pretty sure that's gonna be full of shit. It's called experience. And you're just like,
It's called the downhill slide, is what it's called.
it's like, yeah, I don't have that much time. I just
What the hell's Mary Sue's? What does that mean?
Mary Sue is someone who gets powers without earning them. So when he's talking about Mary Sue, he's probably talking about like Rey in the new Star Wars movies, where Luke went through training to get stuff, to get the powers. She just has to realize she's got the Force, and suddenly she has all the same powers that Luke had after training, or even more powers than Luke had after
And didn't
extensive
have to
training.
do shit.
She didn't have to pay for it.
Right. I get it.
Mary Sue is like what's her name? Captain Marvel in the MCU universe.
Yeah, like I said, like that is like going into too much depth for me when watching Star Wars. I don't look at stuff like that. I just watch it for what it is and I watch it. As I like space shows, and I don't know. Each one's just a new adventure in my head. I don't really care about getting into that depth.
If you look at Hero with 1,000 Faces, it was a book basically saying that all stories follow the same type of pattern, and you have the call to adventure, the rejection of the call, and then you go to the adventure, you travel to like an unfamiliar place, the underworld or whatever, and at that point you get what you were after, but you pay a huge price for it, and then you return to that you return to the upper world,
to your original starting point.
but you have changed in some way. Fundamentally, you've changed. You've gotten what you wanted. You paid a price for it, and then when you return, you've changed, and you're into that new situation, and so.
That's
yeah,
true though. That sounds like a general plot.
And so what Cool Cat is saying, the hero without the journey, is that your hero gets the call to adventure. They go to the underworld. They get what they want. They don't pay any price for it. Or they skip that entire underworld trip completely. That they get a call to adventure, and then you skip over here to where suddenly they have all the tools they need to solve their problem.
Sure. I get what y'all are saying. Yeah, I've never gotten really super in depth with the Star Wars stuff like that. I just kind of enjoyed each movie on its own. Now, I probably should have got more in depth to it, because sometimes even like I had to actually look up which movies to watch and what order to watch them in. But me personally, I still didn't make the entire connection of each movie, because
the order to watch Star Wars is that you start out, you don't watch any of the movies first, you watch the animated series Clone Wars. And that way you learn about Anakin.
I never watched that.
And you follow Anakin and Obi-Wan through the Clone Wars. Then you go ahead and you jump ahead to A New Hope, where you find out Anakin has been killed, Luke is his son, and you follow through. And you've fallen in love with these characters through that entire series. And so you like Anakin. Anakin was really cool, and so you're upset that he was killed. And so you follow along with Luke. and Darth Vader's a bad guy. You find out Darth Vader killed Anakin, and so you follow along and you are angry. And spoilers. Any spoilers? Should I not say what happened in Star Wars?
I don't care.
Okay.
I've seen all of them, but the animated series. So.
So if anybody hadn't watched, you watch that, you follow through to Empire Strikes Back, where you get the twist at the end, where Luke is like, "You killed my father," and no, and then you find out that's the twist, and it really gets you because you find out, oh, Anakin, and you find out that twist. Then you can go back and watch the first episode 1 or skip episode 1, just go to episode 2 and 3 on Star Wars, because now you follow Anakin, but you know the twist, and so your twist is not going to be it's more of a flashback. It's not going to be ruined. It's not going to ruin anything in the future, and you get to see that and follow through. So you watch those, and then you finally watch Return of the Jedi, because that is the redemption arc for Anakin, and that would be where you stop. You don't watch the new movies at all.
See, when I started watching the movies, I kind of just went and looked it up, and it gave me a list. Now, I never mentioned the animated series. I never watched that. But it gave me all the movies.
Episode 1, Cool Cat, is because episode 1 brings in weird things like midichlorians, and episode 1 doesn't contribute anything to the storytelling. It doesn't give you any insight into Anakin's journey. That can all be taken up at the in episode 2. Unless you can make a good argument for why episodes should be included in the watch list, I would exclude it. But if you look at the series as the ones I put out there, that gives you the entire Anakin arc.
Mark went back to his Star Wars background. There you go. Minion Star Wars.
I think midichlorians are silly. They're an unnecessary explanation for. They're trying to Star Trek an explanation for the Force into Star Wars.
Is that where midichlorians was first talked about? Was in Star Wars?
Midichlorians, yeah, in episode 1.
No, that was Mandalorians.
What?
That was Mandalorians.
I'm talking about midichlorians.
Yeah, you guys are beyond my depth as far as this goes. Y'all can argue.
Okay, I think we're going to close her down, Don.
So, yeah, the best thing to do is just go to Comic-Con and say Star Trek was a
Comic-Con, there you go.
copy of Star Wars, and then just walk out of the room.
Hey, Don, thanks for being here, my friend. Justin, thank you. Mark, have a great day. We'll see all of you again later today.
Yep, Star Wars Talk killed it.
Yep, bye for now.